Alright, so it's my first day back from my Ohio trip, but it was such a pretty day outside, I decided to come to the Heron Rookery in Indiana Dunes and check out some of the wildflowers because there's actually a decent amount of them starting right now, so I'll probably splice this together with some other trips that I do later on when I come up here. But here are some spring beauties, a little bit of pink in them. I was really excited to see these Dutchman's breeches. You can see why they look like little pantaloons. They're so cool. Here we've got false rue anemone, I believe. This is a pretty common one around here. It looks like a bunch of the prairie trilliums are going to be blooming this time. They're not there yet, but hopefully by the time I come through again, they'll be open. Here's another one down here. It's kind of hard to see, but this is a white fawn lily. Another one that's pretty sparse around here right now. The Heron Rookery is said to be one of the best places to check out wildflowers in the park. So I definitely think I'll be using this as my gauge to see whether stuff is actually in bloom anywhere else. I don't see any of the heron nests here though, so I don't know if they take longer to show up. Another one that's out right now is the buttercup. These aren't as prevalent out here when I'm in the woodsier area, but near the entrance where it was a little bit sunnier, there are more of them around. Another thing about this spot is since it's along the river here, there is evidence of beavers. I haven't seen any here, and I don't know if I really will. I don't know if they've been here anytime in the recent past, or if these are old stumps that have been gnawed down a long time ago. They look pretty recent though. Here's another one. Purple cress. All of these identifications I'm doing are pretty much all of them are from the what is the app called? I can't think of it off the top of my head. Seek, that's what it is. So I'm trusting that these are all accurate. See, look at these beaver marks in these trees. But yeah, I'm not that good with wildflowers, so I'm trusting that the app is identifying them properly. If you know some of them are definitely not what I said, feel free to timestamp the video and then say what it actually is. I would love to learn more about the wildflowers here, but it's not something that I've put a lot of time or effort into. This is another one that's been popping up sporadically, is I think it's a yellow trout lily. It's very pretty. All the lilies around here are super pretty. I feel like I've never really noticed them too much before, but then again, I haven't really gone out looking for wildflowers in past years. I'm about 85% sure that this tree was not down the last time I was here. I don't know when it fell, but I do not remember the trail just disappearing like that. So that's cool. Kind of scary. Alright, I am back at the Heron Rookery. It's been about a week and a half since I last came here. On this side, which is right next to the parking lot, last time there wasn't really much over here. Now, the buttercups seem to be blooming pretty well, and the violets are here too. There's some other white flowers here tucked in there, probably white cress, stuff like that. So I'll keep an eye out. Hopefully enough has changed this time to feel like it was worth the trip out here. Alright, here we got some blue phlox. These are really pretty. They're like a light periwinkle lavender color. There's a few of them around here. This area is where I experienced the most drastic change. Once you get across this little bridge here, it went from mostly green scenery to much more consistent wildflowers. I mean, here some of the trilliums are already blooming. So those are popping out. The spring beauties are all over the place. The white rue anemone. It's hard to see in this lighting, but there's definitely a lot more flowers on this side of the bridge. So if you make it out here in the springtime, or probably even the summer, make sure you get past the bridge to really see the flowers. Oh, yep, there's the trilliums blooming. Oh my gosh. Look how pretty those are. That's so cool. Here's a bunch of them really blooming in the light spots. I mean, these are such pretty flowers. I love how trilliums look. They're so, so pretty. Right next to some of these blue phlox, here's some wild geranium. These are really pretty too. So there's some of the trilliums I was seeing earlier, the white ones. I think those are drooping trilliums. There's also this kind out here, the prairie trilliums, which I really noticed them last time because of those spotted leaves. But these dark red petals, I looked it up and that's about as much bloom as they get, just that little tuft, then it starts to wither away. But it's cool to see that there's at least a couple different types on this trail. Something else I noticed while I was out here is, here's one of the trilliums, but these plants here with the dark red stalks on them, these are ramps, which are wild onions, and I wasn't really familiar with them until this year. I've heard of them before, but a lot of people in the area like to forage them because, I mean, they're like a mild onion with like a little garlicky taste to them. There are so many of them along this trail. Okay, maybe not so much in this section, but back there, I mean, they're all over the place. Once you recognize them, they're super easy to find. Now, I do have to mention, you cannot pick any sort of food or flower or anything like that in a national park. So this area is protected, and I'm glad to see that there's a lot of them growing here. But if you know someone who has property and is willing to let you forage for morels and that kind of stuff, keep an eye out for those ramps because they're pretty good. I've had some pizza with them lately. It's pretty cool to be able to find what is naturally available and use it in food. This is another interesting area of the river close to the west entrance of the Heron Rookery Trail. This big washout area where I'm sure it floods pretty well when the water's high, pulls the sediment down. I mean, there's a bunch of trees in here. There's stuff growing out there. I'm sure a lot of this has to do with what beavers have done in the past. So if they're anywhere, they're probably still here. I haven't seen any, but well, on my way back now, and I just found this very small and droopy lily. It's the only one I've seen. I haven't seen any of the trout lilies that I saw last time, so those must be done. But there were a few larger true lilies that were not blooming yet. So hopefully I can come out one more time and eventually see those. There was some bloodroot as well that wasn't blooming yet, and then the mayflower, or the may apples. Hopefully, if I get to come back out one more time before I leave, then I'll be able to see all of those blooming.